Hi everyone, it's Stuart here. We are doing this for the first time in a long time, actually. Trading into the US close. The chart next to me here is the euro on the hourly time frame. Dollar's picked up today in the US session in particular. You can see here the big down candle we saw on at the European close here, the 4 o'clock candle, and since then we've unwound quite significantly. So earlier today we're at 116.80 and we're down at 116.50 now. So 30 pip move, not massive, obviously, but obviously major announcement from the Fed next week. But dollar generally weaker, but it's having a bit of a perk up this afternoon in New York on the back of better yields, which has helped lift the dollar. But elsewhere, it's a bit of a sideways day, to be honest. If we go back to the rest of the dollar crosses, dollar yen 155, still. Sorry, yeah. So there we are. Moved down this morning, and it's moved back up to 155. Went down to 154.50 following your Dia's comments and meeting with Prime Minister, talking about not next week, the week after next, the Bank of Japan meet, looking to actually raise rates. Obviously, everybody else is cutting rates, but the Japanese are talking about raising rates. Something the Prime Minister doesn't like, so it's lifted the yen this morning. So dollar yen was falling, and it's given back half of those gains from earlier on this morning. So it's a big move down for dollar yen, and now we've recovered to 155. Dollar CAD 130.50, 139.50 again. You see there's recovery in the dollar since the European close here. So big move down here. On the data today, we've had PMI data. We had dichotomy from the jobs numbers. 191,000 for weekly claims. That's the lowest we've seen since January 2024 for the weekly claims. But ADP, remember, early in the week, minus a negative 32,000. That's the not the fifth consecutive, but the fifth month this year. The private payrolls from ADP have been in negative territory. Last year, 2024, again, more signs of a weakening economy. What's happening there? We're losing the connection. What's going on? Hope you can hear me and see me. Let me just check everything's working all right. Mary had a little lamb. Yeah, that looks all right. Video looks all right. I don't know what happened there. We got a bit of a hit, maybe on my internet here at home late at night. But anyway, no, still looks all right. Still like it was there. So still there. So dollar CAD back to 139.50. From lows earlier today at 139.25. The euro we had a look at, and sterling has had a really good run. We've got some significant triggers on sterling pairs last night. 134 was approached this afternoon. 133.85 is our high. We're back to 133.35. We've seen the strengthening dollar in the late the late US market. Anyway, back to what we trade on these closing sessions. Remember, the cash market in the United States closes in 25 minutes. So we use our this strategy, this setup, this Bollinger Band and stochastic looking for the stochastics to cross, but a touch of the outside of the Bollinger Band and then across on the stochastic, and we look to take a position. So very sort of neutral sort of day today. The opening trades took us to the high of the day at 48,000. That was soon given up, and we've sort of been below where we were pre-market ever since then. This is the hourly chart through late last night. The European session pre-market here 47,950. So 50 points up to open the session. And then since then, we've drifted lower. We've been under the midline and the Bollinger Band, and we're down. So we're biased to the downside on the hourly time frame. So that's the preferred short positions we'd be looking to take on our 5-minute time frame with the trend. The last trade actually was a long position here at 19:30 my time, so just over an hour or so ago here on the Dow. The Dow and the Nasdaq, the ones we look to trade into these closing sessions. I prefer the open to the close, but we take everything as we find it. So that was hit target one quite quickly, and then we dragged the stop loss. Stop loss would have been down about here, the close of that candle there at 47,716. The entry would have been all the way up there at 47,801. Target one, the Bollinger Band, we've hit it there. Sorry, the midline of the Bollinger Bands, we've hit it there, but then to come back and stopped out the second half. So half the position was closed, half the position would have been closed at not at a loss, but actually no, it would have been, because the stop loss is here and it would have taken out there. So that would have been lost. That would have been a winner. So sort of flat on that trade, half a winner, half a loser. And then we're biasing to the downside. So what we were saying about the higher time frame. So that rally hasn't faded. So to going with the trend would have been to take the cross of that stock there, but we haven't touched the outside of the Bollinger Band yet. So again, this is maybe looking to take a long trade to the upside on this 5-minute time frame. However, as we said on the hourly time frame, the bias is to the downside. We're under the 20 period here. We're in the under half of the Bollinger Band, so not a lot of activity, to be honest. So we're biased to the downside. This big thick blue line though here is the 4 hour and the daily trend line. It's you see here from these lows of the last week, the 21st of, a week before last it was, wasn't it? 21st of and the 20th of November. So this is very much in play now. This both a 4 hour and a daily time trend line consolidating around the same levels. That's the 4 hour one. There's a daily one from that, that big leg down we talked about earlier in the week, having recovered to the 61 fib level of that last leg down from the high at the beginning of November, 10th of November, to the 21st low, and then we turned around. So we're back through the 61, and this is our key support area now, 47 400, basically the 61.8 fib of that last leg down. So if this bounce continues, our next upside target is the previous high at around about 48,400 level on the higher time frame, and that daily trend line is helping that support. So that's what we saw today, and that's why down at our 5-minute time frame we breached that. It sort of highlighted and there might be some buyers there, and it was here. You see, we went into an overbought area here on the stochastic. We finally turned around, birching out of the Bollinger Band and up, but it's been a weak rally here ahead of the close. So down and back, and then we found another buyer there as well. So those daily and that 4 hour trend line playing out a bit there on the Dow. If we got the Nasdaq, similar setup obviously with the Nasdaq, similar patterns, not always the same. 5-minute there was a similar buy indicator there at 7:30, and again a bit of a stronger move on the Nasdaq from here into the Bollinger Band. Sorry, I keep saying the Bollinger Band, don't I? The 20 period moving average. So there's a few points on that. So that would have triggered at 25,527, and target would have been 25,524. So listen, about 20 points on that. If you take the spread out, 15 odd points on the Nasdaq 100. Not to be sniffed at, but not a big move. But it's 5-minute time frames, isn't it? And then we've rejected the move up, haven't we? So we crossed there, and if you go with the trend, which is to the downside today, go to the higher time frame again, a bit like the Dow. The trend is to the downside here, the hourly. So the 5-minute recross of the stochastics in the overbought area would have been looking to actually, let's close out that long and look to take shorts, but obviously we didn't get as high as the outside of the Bollinger Band to take that. Mean reverting strategy to the downside. It's moved lower quite significantly, but the price hasn't moved anywhere. So it's not playing out, and this is the vagrancies of trading into the open. So 20 minutes still to the close in the United States, and stock market's really going nowhere. Gold was an interesting one earlier as well, using the same setup ahead of the close. I've moved down earlier in the evening session here in London, and we got a touch of the initial Bollinger Band there at 1850. It wasn't until much later at 1915 we got the cross on the stochastics here, and an entry down here at 4,204. First target within 20 minutes, and then again it's a bit like we've seen with the indexes, no action, it's gone sideways, and so that was closed out as it's chopped around. Then we got a cross of the Bollinger Band to the downside, so we would have taken out our long position. It's not a short position, but certainly closed the second half of the long position both. So first target was hit. Second target is the outside of the other extreme of the Bollinger Band. That hasn't happened. So we've closed. That would have been closed out there on that cross down. On it, in fact, there it happened, didn't it? So it would have been closed out on this candle there at 2010. It's a very straightforward strategy to follow. You can automate it. As I say, the first two simple indicators, simple default Bollinger Band setup 20 and 2, and the stochastics are a little bit different. They're 10, 6, and 3 with thanks to Trevor Neal, who first introduced me to this setup. It's a very straightforward strategy, and it wins enough, and it's effective enough, but whether you're trading it manually or you automate it and code these triggers. So that's a long. It hasn't gone short yet because we haven't had another touch of the Bollinger Band into close. So you tend to get more activity closer to the close, but we'll see how we go with those markets. So not a great deal going on. Our open positions from earlier in the week, the oil markets are still just about in the money. Or they're now in the money. So that's oil. Our entry from the first, we were out with the money for most of the week. We're actually in the money on WTI. We're in the money on Brent. The other only open position I'd shared with you was the Nikkei, which we closed earlier today because we were short. Let's go up to the daily time. We were short this from Monday night as well. And it was looking like it wasn't going anywhere, and it had a really quite a good day today. So this was closed out earlier on today at around about 50,200. I think it was. I haven't actually got the exact data here, but it was 50,000. It's closed. It hasn't. I'm not waiting for the stop loss to come in. I've closed that one out because it was a bit of an iffy position anyway. So that one's closed, and that's a losing trade of about 300 odd points. So we're down about 400 points this week to start December. We were 90 points out of the money on some two forex trades earlier in the week, which ironically triggered later the following days in the opposite direction. I'm actually been successful in the opposite direction. The sterling trades I talked about, I didn't share with you, so I'm not going to put them on the board. But they've been quite successful. But as far as the trades I've shared on our Discord group, we are actually out by about 400 points this week at the moment. It's obviously still Friday to go, but it's not looking like a negative week again to start December. At least the trades I share with you here on the Discord group. Remember, if you want to follow what I'm doing, join our Discord group. I post the end of day positions. If you want some more positions, we are in the trade chat, it's called now, with the new version of excuse me, of the prop trade. So they were the two losing trades from earlier. So that was 90 odd points. And then I said the Nikkei is now closed, but the oil trades are in profit. And we'll see how they do tomorrow. But more on that tomorrow. So follow me on that trade chat there if you want to see what I do on an end of day basis. But any other comments are more than welcome, my friends. So let's have a look. Excuse me. Let's just go back to any action to close. Doesn't look like it. The news. I say. Sorry. Let me just share I did share a touch on the news earlier. The unemployment claims. This 191,000, under 200,000. Huge. Not surprise, but flying in the face of. Contradicting what we've seen with the ADP earlier in the week, where we got this another negative reading for ADP. I think I shared this with you yesterday, didn't I? The negativity of the, just bring that. Oh, sorry, let's get rid of what we're doing. Oh, I can't show you that. Yeah, there we are. This is ADP. Last time. Sorry. Dearie me. What am I doing here? You lunatic. So I don't want it to go back that far. I just want it to go back to head of there. There we are. I just wanted to get rid of the spike from the COVID crisis, but it's not wanting to play ball with me, is it? There we are. A little bit. There we are. Sensitive enough, but anyway, it was negative 32. So we had this 1, 2, 3, fourth negative month for 2025 for ADP, and you see we haven't had a negative month since 2022. So bit of a weakness in private payrolls. However, people claiming unemployment for the first time, less than 200,000. And again, if we look at the graph on that one, it's a big old low. Haven't seen a low like this since start of 2024. So anyway, this the data for today. More for the Fed to conclude that they will go with 25 points base cut next Wednesday. That's more or less nailed on. The CME futures I've got it at Brown to out. It was over 90% again yesterday. I think it was about 87, 88% today at the moment. But yeah, looks like that's nailed on. The anticipated announcement of Kevin Hassett as the new Fed chair hasn't happened. It's not happening until the new year, according to the president. But he's very much a Trump man. Very much, yes, man sounds a bit harsh, but he's a believer in the Trump philosophy. The smiling assassin, I call him. Everything Trump does economically, he's way behind it. So him and Scott Bessent was seen as the grown up in the room, but he's also very much flying the flag of the Trumponomics. So let's see how these tariffs play out and its impact on inflation or non-impact on inflation. Are we in the bubble of the AI just outstripping everything else, and his exuberance about the end of the year? We shall see. So anyway, that's the Nikkei that we were short on. Closed out today for about a 300-point loss. I'll update that later on. So let's have a look at our 5-minute end of trading session strategies. Nothing happening there on this mean reverting strategy. We need a sort of a movement outside of the or towards the Bollinger Band. We may see that, and across. There's nothing going there on the Dow. Similarly with the Nasdaq. 10 minutes into the close, and we've got some gaps on the feed. Got perhaps some buyers into close, which is not unusual. Very sideways day, but a lot of volume starting to go through now. So it looks like we're actually closing positively. We just go up to the daily chart. There you see we've had a positive rally from last week. That key break of the 20-day moving average on the 26th. We followed through. We had obviously big down day on Monday to start the new month, but that's all been bought back. We were up Tuesday, up Wednesday, and currently down so far for Thursday. We'll see how we close out in a minute, but sort of consolidating back at highs, and we're still holding that 61.8 fib on the daily time frame, which is key for the Nasdaq. Similar with the other major indices. Dow's recovered better, so we're at the 78.6, and the S&P 500 at 6,850. We're similarly at the 78.6 of the last leg down. So the Nasdaq. Obviously, the tech stocks got hit hardest, and the S&P and Dow outperforming the Nasdaq in that sense. So moving it, although I tend not to trade on a short-term basis, the S&P 500 more on an end-of-day basis. So across in Europe, the European markets all closed positive earlier. Since the DAX, I also trade on a 5 minute and compare it to the Dow at the same time. So again, this one was last went long here at also around about the 7:30 time frame. But again, similar movement into the first target, and then second target wouldn't have been hit; it was reversed and stopped out. So a winner and a loser. Sorry, a winner of half of it, and then a closed. Still positive, but we didn't get to target 2 on the DAX. So it's moved lower again. I mean, that's moved back up, but we haven't had another cross. So again, I wouldn't be wasting the risk level to take that long, even though that's looking relatively positive from that movement there around about 20 minutes ago on the DAX. But let's see the US markets, because they're the ones that are live. There we go. So it's a bit, it's a bigger candle now. But again, there's nothing for me to trade there with from a mean reverting point of view using this strategy. If we look at a different layout, if we look at the crossing EMA strategy on the 5 minute time frame, sorry about this, is a dark black background, not the white background. Just see if I can change the background. Let's make the background white. Does that help? A little bit. There we are. It's a little easier on the eye, isn't it? So that's the hourly. Dow has been up 5 minute. It's been chopping around, so it's not really. This is a mean. It's a trend following strategy. So you can see there the 5 minute on the moving average has been lower. It's 20 has crossed out. It's very messy. So it's been down, but then it's reversed. It's been down, then it's reversed. So you can see here we're closing positively. So we're having a positive final hour of the stock market, which isn't unusual. I've seen that a few times this week. So that's not really the one to be trading when we're looking at the close. VWAP as well for the completeness. There we are. Again, that background looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Let's make that white. I'll make it a bit better. It's not much better. Let's have to this setup. So this is for the 1 hour VWAP. Again, very quiet day. You can see that volatility. There's the opening session, and then we moved down earlier, and we're trying to bounce back a wee bit at the moment. But we've been under the VWAP today on the hourly. If we look at the 5 minute session, just reset that. Sorry for you. There we are. It's been quite choppy, but negative, and it's up currently. But nothing to get too excited about there, to be honest. No sort of real momentum or movement on that. So just sit on your hands. It's one of those. Just because I called this a live trading workshop. If there's no strategy triggering, you just sit, look after your powder, keep it dry, wait for the net, and wait for a proper opportunity. And as we say, this opportunity looks at the extremes of the move, and the extremes being the Bollinger Band. So you can see we had a touch there, and that's rallied up quite nicely, and it's gone. That run there was a better positive one there. 5 o'clock time. There's the touch of the outside, and we're looking for a cross down, and then that's worked there. You see that there's the cross below is you actually wouldn't have got in till that one. Stop loss would have been up here. Additionally, there's target one. We're right on target one, so I'm probably going to close that out and just let that run, see if it did work out, and it did. It got to target, then it went lower again. And then we finally got a cross to go long here because we've gone outside of the Bollinger Band. The stock market, the K and the D line had crossed again. Then we went long. Then we went into the target one. That did work, but then that's not happened. No, that's it. I'll be done. Nothing's happening into the close. So again, it's just a matter of not trading, basically, guys. There's no point in forcing things just because I'm saying, I'm trading into the US Open, into the US close. If nothing's going, we just, don't go hunting for the trades. Wait for them to come to you. That's the worst thing you can do. Gold, similar, I would guess, 4,207 at the moment. Yeah, there we are. Nothing going on there. Why risk your cash? It's a suddenly news. You could get lucky; it could go in your direction, but more often than not, it doesn't happen. And you take something and nothing's happening. So I can't make things happen, and you don't want to make things happen. So the art of surviving in this business is knowing when not to trade. And all the best traders I know have got that down to an art, and it's something I work on every single day. And that's why I'm much more comfortable in the end of day basis. I quite like these trading the open and the 5 minute charts, just following the rules, doing it manually. But certainly, all the big bucks for me are made, and all the big losses are on an end of day basis. So that's the way I rock. So just on that, let me just have a quick look at what's potentially triggering for tonight, because we are around about the close of the US market. Let me just have a look at my a quick scan of my end of day strategy. Just bear with me a sec while I bring it up on my other workstation here. So what's going on tonight potentially? So there's quite a few actually. I'm a bit surprised that it's lagging. Aussie, Kiwi, CAD Yen, Swiss Yen. I thought these were from yesterday, but yeah. So CAD Yen, Swiss Yen, Euro, Pound. That's interesting. Euro, Pound. That's had quite a big move on Pound, CAD also triggering potentially for tonight. So we'll have a look at those later on. The more aggressive strategy is CAD Swiss, Euro Swiss, and the DAX and the Nikkei. Interestingly, so that's just going to cross. Let me have a look at the DAX. Now the DAX is a potential long position, interestingly, from short position on Monday, which hadn't played out. It's now looking to go long. That short was a failure. The last one was a long position from the 10th of November, which was a winner. The last before that was a long position from the 8th of October, which was a loser. Didn't actually get anywhere. One before that was a long position all the way back in the 19th of September, which is a mighty winner. But that was following two shorts on the DAX, one from the 10th and one from the 16th of September. So they were all winners there. So interesting on that. Sorry, on the DAX there on an end of day basis, and the Nikkei as well, which is interesting. Yeah, it's been chopping around. So the Nikkei, as we said, that's quite interesting. So am I going to look to go long tonight on that one as well? Watch and wait. Yeah, so Nikkei triggering long, having been short, and I've lost 300 points on the Nikkei from Monday. But yeah, it looks like quite a powerful up candle today. 50,500 has been breached on my trading platform here. It's a little bit different feed to the one we have here on Trade Locker. I'm currently showing 55.79. The Nikkei here is 55. Oh, it's not too bad actually. 55.68. So it's not too bad. It's usually, but there we are. So that's strong. That strong last 10 minutes actually. If I look at the daily, there. See, it's on my feed. It's that today's candles are looking stronger than it looks there on the Trade Locker one. But, anyway, I'll post that later if that actually happens. If I actually take that as well. So anyway, so here we are. We're just into close now. So let's just go back to the charts that matter. See if anything's significantly changed. I can't imagine it, to be honest. And I'm just going to wrap this up because nothing's going on. Right, so that could potentially look for a short in after hours trading. So it's punched up into close, but remember the trend is down for the day, isn't it? The hourly trends The hourly candles are down, so we've punched up into close on the 5 minutes. So that's, I mean, it's just the wick. It's not the body of the candle, but even so, it has punctured the outside. So we're now waiting for a cross of the stochastics to possibly take a short. So that's a watch for the Dow to be short. The Nasdaq may have done the same thing there. And Nasdaq's a more positive one in the fact that it's the body of the candle that's broke the outside of the Bollinger Band. But you can see the Bollinger Bands are flat, so there's no real trend there. But we're trading this on a mean reverting basis. So to come back to this level here, the probability is quite high. So 25 500 from 25 580. So maybe we'll see. But say we're still punching high. Stochastics are still moving up, so it could be a trend after hours that goes up. So it's certainly one to watch. Potential short, but we need to have some significant movement before that happens, and we could move up higher. The high of the day was this 25 680. The low of the day was around about this 25 460. There that's the low of the day. That was that exactly. If you want to split hairs, I know some people get quite pedantic about the actual numbers, but there's our high of the day, just ahead of the open. See that 1410, and our low of the day following the 7:30 time frame there at 25,445. So that's moving up, and that's now looking to cross. That's the Nasdaq and the Dow. The DAX. See how the spreads got wider on the DAX, because obviously it's been closed for a while. That's not doing anything. But that is, it still hasn't got to the outside of the Bollinger Band. We've stretched the K. It's getting stretched in the D's, following up. So we'll see on that one as well. If you want to trade this later, now obviously the volumes shrink significantly, as I hope I've shared on the YouTube image I shared with you earlier on today's video. There we are. Let me show you. This is what's running now on our YouTube. You see, this is that's what we're talking about now. This is the how the volumes crash. Certainly after obviously the London close, but certainly the New York close now. Until Tokyo opens, things can get very very iffy. So be careful trading those. So that's the DAX with its widest spread now, and it doesn't look like that's happening. So the Dow and the Nasdaq, we're sort of hunting for trades, aren't we? That's not happening. The Dow continue to move up, sort of move down again. So that's nothing going on there, my friends. I'm going to call it a night now because it's quite late here. It's gone 9 o'clock here in London. And again, nothing going on there with the gold chart on this strategy. So there we go. Nothing to do, nothing to see. Close the book, close the shop, start again tomorrow. Have a look as far as these trading the open and the close. Tomorrow, we are live for the it's PCE tomorrow. I've forgotten. Should know, shouldn't I? Let me just check our calendar for tomorrow. I think we're live clock tomorrow, aren't we? Where's my calendar gone? So Friday, CAD jobs numbers. Oh, that's right, and the core PCE and the is actually out tomorrow. So the key inflation date for the Fed. Obviously, they're meeting next week. Is it going to be as benign as many are still expecting? 0.2% for the month. We'll see what that's like tomorrow. And the Canadian jobs numbers, 7% unemployment is expected, little tick up. And we had that big positive month last month for the Canadian jobs, 66,500. Are expected to decline actually tomorrow. So we'll see you live for that tomorrow afternoon. Also, the University of Michigan with their consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. So some significant data out the US tomorrow, 3 o'clock GMT tomorrow. The Canadian data's out at 1:30 GMT, Universal Standard Time. So more on that tomorrow. So there we go. Anybody with any comments? I don't. There's many of you here at the moment. No, let's have a look. Just a quick wrap up of where else we are. Was Bitcoin finishing 92,500? So it's a positive end to Bitcoin. There we are. Bitcoin is using this strategy. Was long there. It's also 730. There we are. Bitcoin's just another asset, isn't it? Following the rules. So Bitcoin went along there quite nicely to target one. And that would have stopped me out there at 8 o'clock. So I would have pulled my stop loss up and probably would have done, to be honest. But then it's now got to target 2. So now this is now looking to go short. This might be a bit more interesting. Let's see what happens. So this is suggesting a potential short position if we get this cross. What I'd like to see, but this is quite a strong move, isn't it? We've from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. So for an hour and a half, we had a strong move up. Are we going to see some retention on it? You see, the stocks are a bit, stocks, when I'm saying stock, the K and the D line are a bit overstretched. So we're looking to cross. So we'll see if this is a potential short setup. We'll see how that pans out, which is about to close down. But anyway, we'll come back to Bitcoin in a minute. So that's looking potential. See how it's just touching the Bollinger Band. So it could easily stick at the top there. We're stuck. And it's a key, look at it, it's a key sort of pivot area today. We've been at 92,500. That's why, 92,550 area. Just take that up a few time frames. So we've got a 30-minute. You can see, it's been weak all day. So there we are. We're right on the, it's still in the under half of the Bollinger Band on the 30-minute time frame. The hourly time frame sees us still well under the 20 period move there on the hourly time frame. Make that a bit bigger. So it's yeah, so that's still weak. 30-minute is still weak. It still hasn't broken. Now it's testing it area. The 15-minute will have gone through its midpoint there on the Bollinger Band. There we are. It's a couple of candles up, so that's looking okay. But again, it's going to find resistance at the top of the Bollinger Band there at 92.80 on that for 15-minute trades. But as far as 5-minute traders are concerned, which is what we like to use, here we're looking to take this potentially short, aren't we? Because it's looking a bit stretched. But it doesn't want to. It's not turning at the moment, or these stocks aren't crossing. So let's just leave that and see if what happens tomorrow. So that's a potential short here on the 5-minute, but we're not taking it yet because it hasn't crossed. Okay, and I'm really tired. So I've had a busy day. I'm just gonna not take. I'm certainly not risking any of my real money on that one. But even in this account. It's a strong move up, but you saw in those higher time frames some key resistance. So there we had a minor cross. So certainly short, but you'd have been filled around about this 92,520 area. Let's see, the spread's got a bit hefty there. As the US stock markets are closing. So that's a potential short, but nothing to get too excited. So just finally, before I do close down, let's have a look at what the indices have done. So they've touched, still haven't crossed, so that's still not happening. NASDAQ touched and moved higher. Classic still moving higher. So again, nothing happening there. So I'll close this out. It's been a bit of a bore, hasn't it? Nothing's actually happened, but that's trading for you guys. I'm not going to make something out. I can't make anything up. If it doesn't follow the rules, doesn't fit, and doesn't trigger, there's nothing to do. And that's trading. So shut up shop, do your analysis, do your journaling, and start again tomorrow. I will obviously do a scan later for end of day stuff and see what's happening and let you know. So keep your eyes peeled on our Discord channel, both the general chat, I copy it into general chat. All the details are always on the trade chat here that I share. And, only trades I put up on here are ones that accounted for our account for the year. We've had a really, really good year. I took nearly 3 weeks off for November, and we had a positive November again. But we've got a losing week at the moment. As I said, that Nikkei short was closed earlier on today for about, actually it's probably more than that now. It's 51. Oh, anyway, I'll see how much it was. Yeah, it's about two or 300 points, I think it was, plus on the Nikkei. But the oil positions are actually in the money, so we're not as bad as it might look at first pick. So see you tomorrow for the Canadian jobs, the PCE numbers as well. A bit more live action during the trading day rather than into this close. So take care. See you all tomorrow, Friday, for the close of the first week of December. Where's my porn? There you are. And we'll close this out because there's no comments. Okay, take care, everyone. All the